Each week, 3 comedians from different regions across the UK battle it out. Who wins? The audience decides. This is Stand Up, Stand Off! Good evening and welcome to Stand Up, Stand Off. I'm Stuart Mitchell and this week we're in Glasgow. I must admit, I'm a bit conscious with clapping my hands myself because I'm missing the tips of 2 fingers. You see that? See that? Yeah, it's not a magic trick. It's real. It's weird. See, I went to a rough school in Glasgow, but I lost at a game of rock, paper and scissors. So we have 3 talented comedians tonight, and me. Obviously, thank you. That's nice. And I could obviously count the amount of acts we have on one hand. So these 3 comedians are ready to battle it out for your votes. Just think Britain's Got Talent without the tragic story of their parents being dead. Our first act is an up-and-coming comedian from Castlemilk. He's played in comedy clubs around the country, and being from Castlemilk, he's here literally fighting for your vote. Are you ready for your first act? Yeah. Come on, are you ready for your first act?
Yeah. Hello, I'm John Gilmer. I'm a stand-up comedian. Been doing stand-up for about a year now. Always loved comedy from a young age. Been the class clown in school, to watching Def Jam comedy growing up, and then as I've got older, watching the newer stuff. I've always been impressed with the comedians, so I thought I'll give it a try myself. So the next step after that died was to venture into the stand-up game.
In true Castlemilk style, everyone make some noise, stamp your feet and wave your offensive weapons. Please welcome to the stage the fantastic John Gilmer!
Hello everybody. Well, as your host Stuart said, I'm from Castlemilk, and don't know if you've heard of Castlemilk, but a reputation it has, and I've seen it all. I've seen stabbings, slashings, robberies, even seen a murder once. That was just my own house. But at the end of the day, she's my mother and I love her dearly. So that's the thing. Growing up from Castlemilk, as I said, it's a rough area. My mum was a pretty tough individual. She didn't care for nobody. She had love and hate tattooed on her knuckles. She's got a big love heart tattooed on her arm. And she got all lovers tattooed all the way down both arms. But she's not really a understanding mother. When I say to my mum, because I done a stand comedy club a couple of weeks ago, and I said, Mum, I'm at the stand tonight. I'm at the stand. Are you proud of me? And she's like, proud? Is that you up at High Court, Grashton again? I'm like, no, ma, it's a comedy club. I'm trying to make people laugh. High Court's tomorrow, right enough. But yeah, I've been a postman for 12 years. And being a postman, people always say, is one of the most common questions as a postman, do you get bit with dogs? And I'm like, well, I have been bit a few times, but to be honest, it's actually been my own fault for putting my cock through the letterboxes. As I said, been a postman for 12 years, and in those 12 years, junkies love a postman. They're attracted to us. I don't know what it is. They're just attracted to us. I'll be walking along the road, minding my own business, and I'll just hear behind us, and I'll be like, for fuck's sake, what's this? Postman Pat, where's your black and white cat? Or I'll be going up a close, man, and I'll just hear behind us. Here we go again. Postman Pat, if you've got any brown letters, just put them in the bin for us, See, if I had £1 for every time I heard that, I wouldn't need to keep stealing their gyros. But my daughter absolutely loves music. One of her favourite songs is the Baby Shark song. Have you heard the Baby Shark song? I fucking love that reaction, man. I love it. Because I love that song. Honestly, it cheers me up. Whenever I hear it, it cheers me up so much. So it got me thinking, see if I heard that song to every bad news that I've ever heard, life would be so much better. Like if I was to go to the doctors, and the doctor would go, Mr. Gilmer, I'm afraid to say, you've got herpes, did it. An STD, did it. I'm like, it might be itchy, but it keeps me warm. But my daughter absolutely loves that I do stand-up comedy, and I say, she always goes like that to us, can I come and watch, Dad? And I say, look, you're too young, you're a bit too young. She's like, she tells me jokes and I sit and laugh away and stuff. So she asked, could she come today? And I said, I'm sorry, but you can't. But she actually drew a little picture and she's like, can you show the crowd a little picture? I'm like, of course, darling, I'll show. So she made a wee picture, and here it is here. And she's drew me on the stage with my microphone, and she's drew the crowd. And I don't know if you can see at the very bottom there, she's actually wrote, "You're a shite da." But I'll leave you in this. I just like to have a laugh. That's what it's all about. And good situations, bad situations, just want to have a laugh. That's what life's all about. So had a bit of bad news a couple of weeks ago when my granny died. And my mum says, could you please come to the funeral directors with us? I'm upset. And I said, of course, mum. I understand. I'll come with you. So we turn up to the funeral directors. And she's like, I can't seem to bring myself to collect her ashes. Could you get her ashes? And I'm like, of course. I'll get her ashes. So I went up to get her ashes. Now we're in a bag for life. Since then, my ma's actually no spoke to me. She actually fell out with us. But she went like that. It's all right. Get to fuck, don't come back. Anyway, troops, I hope you have a splendid evening. Good night. Thank you.
John Gilmore, everyone. He's talking about his grand's funeral there as well. I went to my grand's funeral. It was an open casket. Have you been to one of these? My gran was like this the whole time. I looked at her. She looks as if she's on a fucking flim. So we'll have to wait and see if John's done enough to get your vote. So next up is a relative newcomer to comedy. But does he have what it takes to win? Are you ready for your next act?
My name's Adam Julians and I've been doing stand-up off and on for about 10 years. I got started when my father died back in 2010 and I spoke at his funeral. There was one or two people that came up to me afterwards and said that was the best funeral they'd ever been to. So I've been dipping my toe in and out of it. I'm what you might call an open act and I've not really taken it very far. It's just for a hobby.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Adam Julians.
Hello folks, how you doing? You okay? So, I come from Bridgeton in the East End of Glasgow, but you might notice from my accent I'm not exactly from Bridgeton in the East End of Glasgow. It's very interesting being English and coming from Bridgeton. People are very welcoming in Bridgeton. They've got their Union Jacks outside the houses and pubs. Like that one, Sarah, did you? So, yes, it's great, but unfortunately, I can't go to a pub because people think I'm a policeman or a priest. It's very interesting taking confessions in the corner of the pub and then taking them off to prison. That's my service to community. Thank you very much. So I've got a little Jack Russell taken for a walk every day. Have you guys seen or do you know of the film called The Angel's Share? Yeah, one or two of you. So the main actor in The Angel's Share is from around my way, Paul Brannigan. So when it came out, I was quite excited. I was chatting with a fellow dog walker about the Angel's Share. You know, the Angel's Share is the amount of whiskey that evaporates during the distillation process. So my fellow dog walker said, that's got Paul Brannigan in it, hasn't it? And I went, yeah. And he went, he stabbed me once. But it's nice to see he's doing okay. So yeah, from the video there, I got started in comedy. Growing up in the 60s and 70s with my father, it was quite common. We got to go do a lot of cool things, but we weren't exactly that close. And he took a stroke in 2006, and then he slowly declined until he died in 2010. In the last few months of his life, we got quite close, and there was a peace between us. And I spoke at his funeral. And it got a laugh. So I talked about when I was younger, my dad would pretend there was a man in the toaster that would pop the toaster up. And he taught me financial responsibility when I was a teenager. When I asked him for money, he said, when are you going to pay me back? And when he retired, he built obstacle courses for squirrels. It started off with a little bit of rope, then a bit of perspex. And then we'd have conversations over breakfast while we watched the squirrels and hummed the Mission Impossible tune. So that was fine. Got a few laughs, and I was comforted by that. And I hope I gave a bit of comfort to friends and family. And one or two people came up to me afterwards and they said, "That's the best funeral I've ever been to." And I thought, how do you respond to that? Who wants to be next, maybe? Just to finish off, I go down to the leisure centre at the Gorbals quite often, and I'm over 50. And one of the great things about being over 50 for me is I care less and less about what people think about me. It's a kind of a freeing thing. But I've got nothing on some of the old guys down there. I asked one of the guys about a TV program I was quite enjoying. There's a war drama on BBC One on Sunday at the moment, and if he'd been seeing it. So he said, "No, I don't like TV. I don't like films. Don't like anything like that. I like real action. I like to go down to Bridgeton Cross and watch the fights when there's an Old Firm game, and see that 9/11. That's real action. The special effects on that were brilliant." Now, I thought, 9/11, is that a play or something? No, but he was actually talking about the real 9/11. Airplanes flying into buildings, the real thing. So I just went, "Man, you're sick." And he went, "Yeah, I am." Brilliant. So thanks. You've been absolutely wonderful, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. I've been Adam. Cheers.
Give it up one more time for Adam. Yeah. We get any English in, like Adam? Just one. Is it? Do you know, people have a traditional view in England that Scottish people don't like you, don't they? It's not true. Fucking hate you. I'm only joking. We love you. We love Adam. We love you. Do you know, it's strange as well. This brings back bad memories for me, this wire, because I recently had a colonoscopy. You know what this is? They put a camera up your bum, and I had to get one up, and they shaved everything, and I know, typical NHS, it looked like the council had cut it, right? At least Bupa sweep it up, don't they, right? And they're pushing this up, like this, and it's agony, and he keeps pushing it 1.5 meters, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, are you fucking fitting broadband, right? But it's good because it's fibre optic, so my arse has got unlimited Wi-Fi. So thanks. So we're almost at the end of our night, but we have one final act vying for your vote. The next comedian is from Shetland. So the comedian is an improviser coming to us straight off a solid run at the Edinburgh Fringe. Aren't we all? That's what we all say. But you're in for a treat. Are you ready for your final act?
My name is Mary-Elaine Robertson, and I've been performing stand-up for 5 years. I was living in Amsterdam at the time, and one night I came back to my flat and I'd been robbed. And the course where I did improvised comedy, they put me on a stand-up course for free because they knew I had nothing else to do with my time. As soon as I started doing stand-up comedy in Amsterdam, I then moved right back to Shetland, where I didn't gig for a very long time. So I began going away to the Fringe and exploring longer sets. I prefer longer sets because they're like a meaty story.
Put your hands together for our final act, Mary-Elaine Robertson.
Cheers, cheers. How is everybody? Me too. Hi, my name is Mary-Elaine Robertson, and I know what you might be thinking, like, that is a thick accent. Well, it's not as thick as this jumper, but it is thicker than my hymen. Because I don't got my hymen anymore. High five. I also wanted to tell you guys that joke just because I wanted to show off my lovely jumper that my granny knitted. Do you like it? Thank you. I will pass on your warm wishes to my granny when I too get to heaven. But if you are still interested, regardless of virginity, I am from Shetland. To get to Shetland, you go up to Aberdeen. And from Aberdeen, not a word of a lie, it is a 14-hour ferry north. 14 hours on a boat. So I'll give you all a travel tip, because we could use the fresh blood for drinking. But when you're on your way up to Shetland, you'll find yourself at some point in the journey struggling to stay in the same place, watching a grown man roll around on the floor in his own vomit. And after 5 hours of this, you'll think to yourself, yeah, get me the fuck out of Aberdeen. And it's nice in Shetland. It's nice. It's a small community, but we're not small-minded For example, the first time I ever got drunk, I was 10 years of age, and not one person judged me until I vomited. And then they questioned my integrity. Marilyn, that is a waste. What are you going to do? Drink it back up, good lass. And it's nice in Shetland because we all know each other. We know each other biblically. But I challenge you to find as an attentive health service where at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, the doctor phones you, like, hello? Hi, Marilyn, just the doctor. Phoning to let you know I've booked you in for an appointment at 10 o'clock. It's like, but I'm fine. Yeah, Marilyn, I was also at Jim and Anne's wedding on Saturday. I saw you sneaking around the back of the hall with Peter. That's who it was. So I've got you a course of antibiotics here because right now he's riddled with gonorrhea. Thanks, Dad. But it's nice. Do you guys want to learn a Shetland expression today? Yes. Okay, this is my favourite expression. I'll just share this with you. It's bag aff. And bag aff is a beautiful expression because it encompasses any form of physical contact between two or more individuals. So bag aff can be hand-holding, bag aff can be kissing, bag aff can be sex, but still don't tell my mum. She thinks I'm here for work, but I'm like, fresh meat. But it's great because it's the only thing that there's an air of mystery about. Because in Shetland, everyone knows what you're up to. Everyone has binoculars by the kitchen window. And not for the wildlife, but for your neighbours. Be like, Dad, Wilma's hanging her bedsheets up for the second time this week. She must have bagged aff. And it's also good because when you're 14 years old at the local disco in your dad's sheep shed, and you stare across the dance floor with the lights flashing because Dad left the hazards on the tractor again. And you see the boy you fancy and you're like, oh my God, guys, it's Robbie Robertson. Oh, sorry, that's my cousin. He is my hottest cousin. I'm going to go speak to him. And I remember walking across the floor to Robbie Robertson, and we had this beautiful moment because he was looking the other way. So he didn't see when I ran up from behind and just licked to the back of his head like, and ran back to my friends and said, me and Robbie just bagged off. And they're like, you had anal. And I'll just leave you on this. I actually told that joke at the Edinburgh Fringe, and there was this lovely elderly couple in the front row. And at the end of the show, they came up to me and said, we just love to hear some Shetland words again. So the only one I said was about butt stuff. Like, well, it brought us right back to our honeymoon. But thank you very much. I've been Marilyn Robertson. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Marilyn. Now all three acts have performed, it's down to you, our studio audience, to vote for your favourite. Who will win Stand Up Standoff? Join us after the break to find out. Welcome back to Stand Up Standoff. Before the break, our studio audience cast their votes. I can now reveal that the winner of the Glasgow Heat and advancing onto the Stand Up Standoff final is Marilyn! Congratulations, well deserved. Please give it up for all the acts tonight. And we'll see Marilyn in the live final, but who will be joining them? Join us next week in Aberdeen to find out. Thanks for watching and good night.